Update to prosecutions in Marion County. Hey, this is Attorney Marc Lopez.
Zach Bailey.
So, Zach, Prosecutor Ryan Mears has stated he will no longer prosecute simple possession of marijuana cases in Marion County. Has the sky fallen? Give us an update.
So he made that promise as part of his election campaign, and he got elected. So yes, that policy has been in place. Simple possession of marijuana cases, if they're not coupled with a handgun or an operating while intoxicated charge, they're not violent. But recently, Senator Michael Young of the state Senate came out with a bill that he was proposing to sort of take that power away from Prosecutor Mears and other prosecutors around the state to sort of override their discretion in that area. He claimed the timing of it was all coincidental, and it was more about sort of
awfully coincidental.
Right,
yeah.
Right. He said it was, he's noticed other states and other municipalities not charging public urination, public intox, that kind of stuff, retail theft, and he said he was doing this to sort of head that off.
And so this is huge because Indiana has 92 counties, and every single county has an elected prosecutor. There are some weird ones where some counties share a prosecutor, but we're not going to talk about those. But charging decisions are made by the local prosecutor in those 92 counties. We've seen some other issues where maybe the Attorney General is getting involved with nurse prosecutions, but those aren't cases that the prosecutor specifically said, I'm not going to prosecute these. So this is a pretty huge departure from the normal everyday thing of the Attorney General.
It is, and it's sort of the first time we've seen this around Indiana. It's happened in other states. New Hampshire, in 2019, the Attorney General stepped in when he felt the prosecutor wasn't able to fulfill their duties. So it's not unprecedented.
It's not unprecedented for the country, but for Indiana, it's pretty unique.
It is.
And so Marion County is not the only place that's experimenting with this. Lake County, Indiana, while they have not said they're not going to prosecute possession of marijuana, they've ordered the officers to write ticket arrests as opposed to handcuff arrests. Cincinnati is no longer prosecuting marijuana if it's under 100 grams.
100 grams, correct.
And then Louisville has taken the same position as Marion County where they're not going to actually prosecute simple possession of marijuana. So this isn't unprecedented by any means. And like Zach was saying, though, as soon as Prosecutor Mears stated this policy, he was met with immediate pushback. The Fraternal Order of Police was giving him pushback. At one point, officers were told, you do what you're supposed to do. We don't care what the prosecutors do. You can still make arrests.
So the bill wasn't officially introduced. It didn't pass, and even though Senator Young is in the majority, we aren't sure exactly why he didn't propose it for a vote, but he didn't. And so, the Attorney General may have this power, they may not, but they didn't specifically enact that legislation to clear it up for everybody.
And, just going back to Indiana has 92 different counties, and the Constitution of Indiana states that you have to be charged and tried in the case where you're charged in. So the Constitution requires that you be tried in the county where the charge occurred. And so the idea of a state official coming in and prosecuting a case where the Constitution clearly values the local prosecutor, the local discretion of the prosecutor, is very, in my opinion, antithesis of what the framers of the Indiana Constitution envisioned. So this is, in my opinion, a power grab. And obviously others might see it differently. But I do believe the charging decision should be made at the local level.
Absolutely. I mean, we have 92 counties. We have 92 different sets of issues. Marion County is different than even the donut counties that we go into.
Oh, yeah.
They see different issues. So the way they handle these cases should be left at a local level. Most of these cases are getting dismissed or diverted anyway as part of something else. So it's not a huge deviation.
It's not. And I've been practicing for 13 years as the time of this video. And I've only done maybe 10 or so marijuana possession cases. And like Zach was talking about earlier, the ones that are brought forward, even prior to this proclamation by Prosecutor Mears, usually it was possession of marijuana along with a gun, possession of marijuana, driving a vehicle, intoxicated, possession of marijuana, and trespass, possession of marijuana, and urinating in the street, but usually was marijuana plus. And I don't think this has been a very big deviation from what was the status quo.
No.
And I think that this was simply an excuse for a state official to try to do a power grab. And opinions differ, but the bottom line is, marijuana is still illegal to the state standard. Prosecutor Mears stated he will not prosecute simple possession of marijuana, but be smart about it. Don't be smoking in the streets. Don't keep it, smoking your cars while driving. That's a DUI. be smart about it and don't involve marijuana with other acts, such as perhaps unlicensed handgun. So be smart, have fun, be safe. Remember, always plead the fifth.